Well, shifting gears, the global markets have been rallying, with the Asian markets today closing in a one-year high. To understand what is happening in the world when it comes to capital flows in equity markets, I am now joined by Darshan Desai, co-founder and managing director of EUROMAX Capital in London. Darshan, a very good afternoon to you, and thank you very much for joining us. First question is, what's caused this sudden surge of capital flows in the last few weeks that we've been now witnessing, resulting in, of course, all the major indices breaking out once again?
Well, to start with, I don't think you can call it very sudden in that sense. It has been a gradual ascent. I think the fundamental root cause has been the interest rates world over. I think they are at an all-time low, and given the excess liquidity in the system, not only in India but even in many Western markets, and of course in China as we speak, it has resulted in the need and necessity to put money to work. Many people believe here in the West that the Indian capital markets are the most promising, the most resilient, and still have some way to go northward, especially when you keep in mind that the Chinese P multiple trades at around 25. FIIs cannot directly trade in the Chinese market and have to do that through Hong Kong, which is at a premium of about 40 to 50% over the underlying Chinese market. And you compare that to about a 17 or 18x PE in India, there is sufficient headroom still available.
How do you see investment opportunities within India in the kind of assets or the kind of companies that you're looking at?
I think the mid-cap sector, where there is a lot of upside still available, of course selectively, and then could be different views on different sectors. But I think the sentiment which is on the intangible side has been the one factor side by side with the liquidity I mentioned earlier. And given the huge government spend which is on the anvil, on the infrastructure side, the support industries and service sector, which is going to buttress that growth over the next 5, 10, 15 years, is one clear area, and then on the other side is the service areas of healthcare, education, and so on.
So can I bring you back to a global question once again? How do you see it? Do you see this kind of flows, or for that matter, the rallies holding on? Is there a real chance that they would run out of steam pretty soon?
No, I don't expect it to run out of steam in the near future. As I mentioned, it is the liquidity overhang with the low interest rates and talks of even going to zero or negative, and so far as the central banks and interbank market is concerned. The FII is under tremendous pressure to invest money. The growth that they see in India, the resilience, the fact that it hasn't even gone down despite the drought fears, which is rooted in reality to some extent, have all combined. Really, there are not too many areas that the FIIs can look at. And if you couple that with the slender base of the Indian capital market in a global context, it's really India and China. As I mentioned, 7 or 8 multiple points still left on the PE side, and the flexibility. But we should never forget, it is hot money. There would be movements up and down, but I think the broad trend is northwards.
Right, and is there any specific sector that you are particularly putting your money on? I know you spoke of infrastructure broadly and some other sectors.
Everything other than commodity. Let me answer it with a negative. India, fortunately, is not to that extent affected by the commodity swings and volatility. And to that extent, I think there will always be an outperformance on the Indian side in the near foreseeable future. But having said that, let's be very clear that we are not isolated, decoupled, or whatever the different jargons being used from time to time. The question is, if there is a downturn globally, India will not be able to be isolated from that. But I think the fall, if any, would be relatively lower.
Right, Darshan, thank you very much for joining us from London and talking about the opportunity in India, and really India and China vis-a-vis many other markets in the world, and the fact that the specific nature of the Indian market, the slender size, as Darshan said, it really makes it a fairly strong buy at this moment. Up ahead, I'll be joined by Ajoy Veer Kapoor, Managing Director of Saffron Advisors, on the private equity opportunities in real estate.